Family feud erupted when I bought my grandparents' dream home. Sister accused me of stealing her life. Then my girlfriend's lies and her friend's shocking behavior left me reeling with a heartbreaking truth. Have you ever poured your heart into a dream, only to have it turn into a battleground where the people you love turn against you? That's where I found myself, Alex, 30, standing in the ashes of a family celebration turned nightmare, my wife Claire, 27, by my side, as we clutched the keys to what I'd always called my dream home. This wasn't just any house, it was my grandparents' sprawling lakefront estate, 6 bedrooms, a shimmering pool, a quaint guest house, and memories of every childhood birthday, holiday gathering, and reunion baked into its outdated walls. 20 years ago, their sudden deaths, shadowed by crushing medical debts and endless expenses, forced our family to sell it, a gut punch that left me, a wide-eyed kid, vowing to reclaim it one day. I shared that dream with my sister Emily, back when we'd raced through those halls, dreaming of our future. Claire and I met when I was 18, she 21. Her parents, generous souls, let her live rent-free in their small rental property, covering just the utilities. A year into our whirlwind romance, she invited me to move in, and a year after that, we married, young but determined. I confided in her about my grandparents' house, that aching promise to bring it back to us, and she embraced it with a fierceness that steadied me. We started saving aggressively, living without rent, both landing solid jobs despite the economy's bite. We tucked away every spare dollar, dreaming the house wouldn't slip through our fingers before we could afford it. Our savings grew, a quiet triumph. Claire's parents even chipped in $75,000 from a college fund they'd held for her, a gift that swelled our down payment to $185,000 after years of discipline. We skimped on luxuries, budgeted ruthlessly for 9 years, watching as the housing market danced around that property, praying it wouldn't sell to someone else. When it finally hit the market, the price tag was staggering, reflecting its size and features, though the lack of updates kept it oddly affordable in today's terms. Emily, meanwhile, was house hunting with her husband, their lives tangled with children, student debt, and years of renting that drained their savings. They couldn't match our pace, a reality we understood but didn't dwell on. I sent her the listing link, my heart pounding with excitement, texting, "We're finally getting Grandma and Grandpa's home back for the family." She replied with enthusiasm, "So excited! It'll be amazing for the kids to know this place," and I took it as shared joy. Claire and I dove in, meetings with the owners, real estate agents, inspections revealing quirks but promise. Our offer was accepted, and we were over the moon, planning to restore the house's glory as the family hub it once was. Throughout the process, Emily's comments didn't raise alarms at first. She'd say things like, "It'll be so nice for my kids to grow up here like we did," phrasing that felt warm but oddly possessive. We brushed it off, caught up in our victory. To celebrate the final closing, we hosted a barbecue at my parents' house, a gathering of laughter, grilled burgers, and the hum of family. Claire's mom, ever practical, offered to kennel our dogs during the move to keep them safe amid the chaos. That's when Emily's voice cut through the chatter, asking why our dogs needed watching when the real concern was her kids needing supervision. Claire, puzzled, asked what she meant, and Emily doubled down. Her children, she insisted, deserved more attention than our pets, confused why we'd be too busy for them. I blinked, lost, and said I didn't know she was helping us move, adding that if her kids couldn't manage, she shouldn't bother packing. Her response floored me. She asked why we'd be packing, as if it were absurd. I explained the obvious. We just closed on a house. The back and forth that followed was a blur of raised voices and stunned silence, but the gist was clear. Emily believed we'd bought the house to either rent it to her family or transfer the title to her name, with her paying us back over time. A fantasy we'd never entertained, never discussed, yet she clung to it like a lifeline. Her dream, she declared through tears, was being stolen. Hers too, she argued, since we'd shared it as kids, and with her children, they had more right to it. What did Claire and I need with all that space, she demanded, her voice rising. Claire, steady as ever, countered that it wasn't the family home anymore. "No, Will left it to us, we purchased it, and now it's ours to decide." Emily snapped, telling Claire to shut up, that this was a family matter she had no say in. That crossed the line. I warned Emily that if she spoke to my wife like that again, we'd cut contact, emphasizing she couldn't assume a house giveaway and then throw a tantrum when corrected. We left the barbecue, hearts heavy, supported by Claire's parents who called Emily's behavior out of line. I thought that would settle it, that reason would prevail, but the text started that night. My parents' disappointment, relatives' accusations of cruelty, all echoing Emily's claim that I'd snatched her dream. I'm floored, this surreal twist feeling like a Reddit saga I never signed up for. As we unpack our first boxes in the new house, the weight of their words lingers. Will this sour note define our fresh start, or is something darker brewing? Have you ever felt the ground shift beneath you, not from some natural disaster, but from the people you've trusted most turning your own words into weapons against you? That's where I stand, Alex, 30, my heart pounding as I scroll through a barrage of texts and voicemails, each one a dagger from my family after my wife Claire, 27, and I closed on my grandparents' lakefront estate. The house, 6 bedrooms, a pool, a guest house, had been my dream since their sudden deaths 20 years ago, a loss that forced a sale due to medical debts, leaving me as a child swearing to reclaim it. I shared that vow with my sister Emily, back when we'd chase each other through those halls, but now she's accused me of stealing her dream, a claim that erupted at a celebratory barbecue. Claire and I saved relentlessly, living rent-free in her parents' rental since I was 18 and she 21, marrying young, pooling $185,000 with a $75,000 boost from her folks, skipping luxuries for 9 years to afford it. Emily, burdened by kids and debt, couldn't match us, yet cheered when I sent her the listing, oblivious to her brewing delusion that we'd rent or transfer it to her. Her outburst, demanding her kids' supervision over our dogs, unraveled her belief in a non-existent deal, escalating to her telling Claire to shut up when we asserted ownership. We left, backed by Claire's parents, but the real storm hit after. The fallout began that night. My phone buzzed with messages from Mom and Dad, their disappointment slicing deep. "You're out of line," threatening Emily over her dream, they wrote, adding that without kids, I couldn't grasp her need to provide her children with the home we'd known. Relatives chimed in, distant cousins texting, "It's cruel to take that from her," their words echoing Emily's tantrum about fairness and space we didn't need. I'm floored. This feels like a surreal Reddit thread I'd read, not live, a twist I never saw coming. The house itself, vast but outdated with carpeted bathrooms and mismatched wallpaper, stands as our hard-earned prize, yet the family sees it as a theft. Claire and I sacrificed, forgoing vacations, eating cheap, budgeting every cent, while Emily rented with her educated husband, their finances stretched by kids and student loans. I'd assumed reason would prevail, but the accusations paint me as the villain. Determined to clear the air, I messaged my parents and siblings, proposing a meeting to untangle this mess. At my brother's house, with Claire beside me, I set ground rules: no interruptions, or we'd walk. I explained, there was no deal, no hint of renting or transferring, just our purchase. I showed the texts, my excited listing share, her enthusiastic replies, nothing more. Mom pressed for other conversations. I said there were none, leaving her silent. That's when Emily's lie unfurled. She'd told them we'd agreed to buy the house, live in the guest house, and rent the main one to her family until they could buy it outright, a plan she claimed we'd betrayed. No evidence surfaced. Her story hinged on deleted chats she couldn't produce, crumbling under scrutiny. My parents, faces paling, apologized profusely, admitting they'd never have judged us without her tale. My brother, never hostile, nodded support, but the real shock came when Emily and her husband arrived. I asked her to prove her claim, any text, any call. Her excuse of deleted messages fell flat. She broke down, crying it wasn't fair, that Claire and I had everything handed to us, that we didn't need a house this big, accusing us of flaunting wealth. Her husband, a doormat, stayed mute. It hit me. She'd concocted this to bully us into giving her the house, a Scooby-Doo villain plot with no ghost, just a fake agreement. We told her apologies were due before we'd consider contact, banning her from our home for now. Our relationship with my parents hangs by a thread. They offered moving help, but trust is shaky. No family gets a key. Claire's parents will hold one for emergencies. Unpacking later, a note slipped under our door, Emily's handwriting, demanding access. My stomach drops. What's her next move? Have you ever thought you'd dodged a bullet, only to find a new war waiting just around the corner, one that cuts deeper than you ever imagined? That's me, Alex, 30, standing in the half-renovated halls of my grandparents' lakefront estate, the 6-bedroom relic with its pool and guest house that Claire, 27, and I fought 20 years and $185,000 to reclaim after their sudden deaths left it sold off for medical debts. The victory soured when my sister Emily accused me of stealing her dream, her lie, that we'd buy it to rent or transfer it to her, unraveled at a family meeting, leaving my parents apologetic but our trust fractured. Her note demanding access, slipped under our door, sent chills down my spine, hinting at trouble. We're fortifying now. Trail cameras with battery power since internet spotty, new locks, a consultation for alarms and a coded gate, all while Claire's parents lend us their camper as a base during renovations. The house, outdated with carpeted bathrooms and mismatched wallpaper, is a labor of love, redoing floors, windows, plumbing, opening walls, upgrading appliances, a project stretching 2 weeks with electricians and planners buzzing through. We're not rich, just savvy. Rent-free living with Claire's $75,000 college fund boost fueled our savings, a sacrifice Emily, renting with her educated husband and kids, couldn't mirror despite their stable jobs. Her entitlement peaked when she tried guilting us, but an estate planner will secure it for Claire's family later, shutting down her claims. The family drama peaked when Emily's story collapsed, her husband a mute bystander, her tears accusing us of flaunting wealth in a house we earned through years of skimping. We blocked her, wary of her next move, though my parents' offer to help with renovations lingers, a fragile olive branch we're hesitant to accept. No family gets a key. Claire's parents will hold one for emergencies, but the sting of their initial support for Emily's lie festers. Relatives' texts calling us cruel still echo, and while some online label us rich, we're not. Claire's parents' generosity and our discipline built this, not handouts. Emily's antics, once just childhood one-upmanship, morphed into this bizarre scheme, yet she rents comfortably, her kids not starving. The house, though big, needs work. Its price reflects size, not luxury, a fact lost on her. As we unpack, the note's threat looms. Will she trespass? Cameras will catch it, but unease grows. Amid this, a new battle emerges. My girlfriend, let's call her Tara, 29, and I have dated over 2 years, serious about marriage, kids, and monogamy. Recently, her friend Sam, a 30-something shapeshifter of pronouns, once she slash her, then they slash them, now back to she slash her, dresses like a Kyle stereotype, vaping with Monster Energy, a look that clashes with her potential attractiveness. Sam's boundary crossing started subtly, polygamous jokes about Tara, who's bisexual and dated women before me, testing my comfort. I've voiced discomfort before, but Sam quipped I'm gay for not joining, a jab I shrugged off, though I'd consider an experience with the right person, not her. At a recent party, drunk friends lingered. Sam, the last to leave, groped Tara's ass in the kitchen while I cleaned. I called it out. Tara dismissed it as girls joking, twirling into Sam's lap in a silly dance. Furious, I stepped in. Tara defended it, saying most guys would love 2 women, but I'm not that guy. Sam taunted, maybe I'd strap on, prefer a man? Drunk and livid, I snapped something like, if you were a man, you'd be out or knocked out, igniting a shouting match. Sam postured, Tara cried foul over my violence, and Sam stormed off, claiming she'd drive drunk. Uber exists, I checked, $15 tops. Tara's now at her cousin's, expecting an apology I can't fathom, blaming me for kicking out an intoxicated guest. I told her I'd think, but my stance is firm. Sam's disrespect, Tara's defense, it's unacceptable. Days pass, and she returned with ice cream, a peace offering, wanting to watch TV and move past it. I refused, elephant in the room, and we talked. I said no apologies needed. Sam never apologized for past jabs or that night. Tara called it a first offense, blind to my past objections, claiming I introduced violence. I countered, anyone touching a spouse sexually without consent provokes reaction, and my boxing background doesn't obligate me to absorb it. Sam provoked, not me. Tara argued my skills make me reckless, a mismatch with Sam. I flipped it. Her actions, not mine, sparked this. She pushed the drunk driving guilt. I retorted it's 2024, Uber's an option, her stupidity's not my burden. I asked if she'd slept with Sam. She swore no, and I believe her, but trust wavers. I admitted Sam's pressure to share Tara, a woman I'm not attracted to, grates, especially after bending over backwards for Sam's identity shifts. Tara's curveball, Sam likes me for that tolerance, sees affection like a schoolyard crush, and they gauged my poly comfort. I shut it down. I'm not into Sam, and Tara's enabling hurt more. She claimed ignorance of my feelings' depth, thinking I laughed it off. I suggested a breakup talk. She broke into hysterics, apologizing, unable to grasp my doubt in our goals: marriage, kids, monogamy. She backpedaled. Polly was a life part she wanted to share, pitched as appealing, assuming I'd cave. I reminded her of my disinterest, her pattern, not just one night. She insisted those were jokes. I said if she believes that, she's not listening. I called out her friend's hypocrisy, inclusive yet mocking my sexuality for rejecting their games. She apologized profusely, only seeing it when I flipped the script. Now she's back at the cousins, and I'm torn: block her, or wait. A text from Emily just pinged, another demand, this time with a threat. What's unraveling now?